Hi there. My name is Nancy Mueller, the one and only Empowerment Sensei.
And my name is Ildiko and I'm the Life Retuner.
Whoa, and together we are bringing you a weekly series of videos to help you get unstuck with our program called Awakening Your Personal Best. Today's topic is going to be on resistance. Ildiko?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Resistance is what stops you from achieving the things you want in life. So what we want to do today is just unpack a little bit of, first of all, what resistance looks like within your life. So you might recognize some of what we're talking about. And then we want to be very specific about how that actually shows up.
Excellent. And as an example, Ildiko, when I was thinking about the topic we were going to talk about today, resistance, there are a lot of people who have frustrating relationships with their parents, and that's just a resistance. Yes?
Absolutely. And that goes back to our views and our beliefs on who our parents are, what we expect from them, what we don't expect from them. And it really goes into the dynamics of relationships in general, because it will also influence your relationships for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. But so often you hear so many adults walking around saying, oh, I could be doing this if only my parents hadn't done that. And that right there is resistance. And so that's just one example of what resistance can do in your life. And so when you think about what are you resisting, a lot of times we think we want a specific something in our life, but we don't have what we want. So when we are telling the universe that we want it, we're actually sending out a message of resistance. We are telling the universe, for some reason, I can't have this. That's why I'm choosing to say, I want this. Ildiko?
Absolutely, Nancy. I couldn't agree more. So the thing about resistance is that it's the beliefs in your unconscious mind that are creating the resistance most of the time. And the way they show up, when you mentioned about saying that, oh, it's all my parents' fault, the way that I could have done this and could have done that. So that's displacement and blaming outside of yourself. And the one thing I've learned is that when you put blame outside of yourself, outside events and people doing things to you, you disempower yourself of the means to change the situation. So you hand your power away. So it's very important to notice if that's what you're doing in your life in any of the areas.
Absolutely. I love that you said that, because so often I've seen, even with my own experience, before I started doing this work, and when I first started doing this work, I realized that where my frustrations would lie, thinking like, well, I can't do this because of this or because of that person. It didn't really occur to me that I was actually giving away my power to someone else. And we talk about people disempowering us, but that's not true. No one has control over another person. The only thing we have control over are the thoughts we think and the choices that we make. But when you're stuck in an energy of not being able to move out of that belief mindset, that's where Awakening Your Personal Best comes in, because when I help them master their beliefs, and you're helping them through the life retuning, one of the things that I love is that, we often talk, you and I, about how you don't even need to have someone tell you what's going on, because you read their energy.
That's right. That's correct. And what I find to be really miraculous, Nancy, is that when somebody changes their beliefs about another person and what they actually mean to them in their lives, the whole relationship takes on a different stance and a different dynamic. And that can happen within a very, very short space of time. I've seen it time and time and time again with my clients that I've been working with for years. And now, obviously, this really powerful part is part of the Awakening Your Personal Best program that we have put together.
Absolutely. I'm just so thankful that the universe brought us together so that we can both use what it is that we do in our work and put it together and help others. One of the things that came up for me when you were talking about that is relationships when it comes into a marriage. Maybe that one of the spouses have done something that the other spouse is feeling very, very wronged about. So it's difficult to let go when you're in that feeling or that energy of you were wrong.
Absolutely.
And
It's
you really
almost
want to
impossible.
hold that person responsible for where you are and where your marriage is. And sometimes it looks like the only alternative is divorce. But the thing is that when both people understand that you do have options, if you'll just stop resisting.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is that it takes a great amount of courage to actually face up to the part you played in it. And I think this is where a lot of resistance comes, because if we accept the responsibility that we actually did something that also, you know, as the saying goes, it takes two to tango.
Right.
So we have to recognize that if there is no ability, you don't have the ability to recognize that, what you're going to do is create the same disastrous pattern in the next relationship. What you want to do is put a stop to that self-destructive behavior within a relationship, because when two people come together, the truth is both are bringing their baggage, their emotional baggage, and it becomes times two. So, you know, it's almost miraculous when relationships actually work out for a long time, because obviously somehow those people are working through their own stuff, and they recognize that they have a responsibility to the two coming together, that unity, rather than just for their personal stuff. And the other thing I think is really important is to work through what those recurring patterns of self-defeating behavior are before you go into the next relationship.
Absolutely.
And a lot of what our program, Awakening Your Personal Best, is about becoming very clear about what those destructive patterns are and putting a stop to them, but without the judgment. We do not have the judgment within this program, which I think is a really powerful plus for us and for those clients that we work with.
Absolutely. And, you know, when you're in that stage, I call it stage 1 of divorce, thinking about it because you think that's the only answer. Isn't it wonderful to know that when you just let go of the resistance and awaken your personal best, it is possible to save that marriage. Maybe it doesn't have to be thrown out. I mean, there is a reason for, you know, people separating. That's okay. But if not, it is wonderful to know that you have choices.
Most definitely. And I think that's what it comes down to have the choice, because a lot of relationships are based on need. I think there's a misunderstanding in general about what relationships are about. You know, a lot of the time somebody's looking for a relationship to say, oh, that person's going to make me happy. Yeah. You know what? The fact is nobody will make you happy unless you make yourself happy first.
Absolutely.
You've got to deal with that part before you go out and combine your forces with somebody else.
Absolutely.
Because if you're going on need, you're going to be disappointed practically every single time.
Well, Ildiko, I'm so excited to be doing these weekly videos with you.
Yeah,
so for all of you that are watching, this is Nancy Mueller and Ildiko on Awakening Your Personal Best, and we look forward to sharing with you every week. Let us know how we can help you. And in the meantime, remember, life is all about choices.
It certainly is, and I look forward to sharing more with you out there as well. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Nancy.